why I quit video games. Now, if you clicked on this video, you probably had periods of time where you just played a lot of video games in your life. And you had a lot of fun. You're probably having fun with your friends or people online. And, you enjoyed it. But at the same time, while in the moment, maybe you did enjoy it, in the end, most likely you have regretted it. Now, in today's video, I'll be talking about video games, why I quit video games, and why you should quit video games to better your life. Now, I know that there are people in today's world that play video games for a living and they make a lot of money. And a lot of those people could be making way more money than me at the current moment. But I still believe that you should not follow their path. Now, when I was a little kid, I'll tell you a bit about what was going on. As a little kid, I started playing video games for fun. The usual games that you play as a little kid. And then when I was growing up to the age of maybe 13, I was playing a lot of video games. And my parents would always kick me off the game. They would give me limits and they would try to do everything so that I don't play video games as much because of how addicting it was. And I was developing that addiction as a little kid. But I always wanted to get rich. And I always wanted to be successful. And video games came hand in hand for me because I like video games. I also would like to make a lot of money. And that together combined into either going pro in a video game or becoming a Twitch streamer or making YouTube videos on video games. Basically just becoming a gaming content creator or a pro gamer, whatever you want to call it. So what ended up happening is that because of my intentions, I just decided. So what ended up happening is that because I wanted to make a lot of money, that was my goal. I wanted to get rich. And I liked video games. I combined that together. And I started playing a lot of video games with the goal of going pro, making content, and becoming rich off of video games. Now, I played a bunch of games, played Roblox as a little kid. Once I got older, we moved on into Minecraft, maybe some racing car games like Forza Horizon. And then the game that I spent the most amount of time on, I'd say, would be Fortnite. Now, before you start laughing, Fortnite was a really big game. It had a really big prime, and it was on top. Out of all the video games that were ever made, it definitely is out there on the top, especially at its peak popularity. So I was looking at people who were streaming on Twitch, they were making YouTube videos, they were gaming, and they were playing hours and hours and hours, and I never really had that. My parents would never let me play that much unless I would sneak or I would try to, secretly just play. And I'm I might, you might think that my parents were kind of cutting me off from my dream. Like when I used to play Fortnite and I was trying to go pro, in the beginning, I didn't even have a mouse pad. I was using a piece of paper as a mouse pad. The mouse that I would use would be an old, broken, taped up mouse. That's what I would use to play. My keyboard, it was the laptop keyboard. And yes, I played on a laptop. I went from originally playing on Nintendo Switch most of the time, then I moved on to, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, those kind of consoles. But for Fortnite, to go pro, a lot of you guys might not understand, but I'll explain it for those that aren't really educated on how Fortnite works and how to go pro. Like in Fortnite, there's the competitive scene, and in the competitive scene, there's something called end games, right? So there's early game, mid game, end game, and in end game, it's really hard to keep up with the game. You need a very strong PC. Most consoles they struggle. They struggle. So in order for me to be able to compete against people on a very high level who have thousands of dollars spent on their setup, it was impossible for me to compete with them on an older console or on a little laptop without an actual gaming mice and using paper as my mouse pad, right? So I was at a disadvantage. Not only was I not allowed to play a lot, which is very hard. Now, I'm not trying to compare video games to sports or anything related to like physical activity, but video games, especially Fortnite, which is kind of my thing, in order for you to compete against other people, you need to put in your hours. Same goes for making money. Someone's working way harder, they're obviously going to do better than you. Same goes for the gym. If you go 7 days per week, while another guy goes 1 day per week, the guy who goes 7 days per week is going to make more progress. And same applies to Fortnite. If I'm only allowed to play an hour a day, other people are playing 8 hours a day, I can't compete with that. And I still had the dream, I still had the hopes, and I was trying my best. And I had lots of arguments with my parents. So, you guys might be wondering, so, did you make any money? What did you do? What happened? Now, what I did, the only somewhat success that I've seen from what I was doing is that I made a bit of money off the game. That's kinda it. The amount of money I made, couple hundred, but that's not that's not gonna make me rich. The amount of time I spent is just worthless. It's wasted. All that time clicking my buttons, playing, trying so hard, most of that time has been wasted. Now the point I'm trying to make here is that it's either you think and you don't think. If you think, you'll realize that the amount of time you're putting in for the reward, is it really worth it? If you're not thinking, you're like, I'm playing for fun. But while I'm playing for fun, I guess I have to excuse that I'm trying to go pro. I'm trying to make money off of this. I'm trying to do Twitch, YouTube, whatever. I'll tell you this. Going back, I appreciate my parents for like just completely demolishing this dream. Like I've played, like I had a team back in the day. I found a really good team. They gave me a chance. They gave me an opportunity. They were on a different level. They were actually really good. And I queued up into a tournament with them, and my dad just closed up my computer. Although he let me play that tournament, I remember we just started playing our first game. We were doing really well. My dad just closed my computer. He doesn't let me play anymore. But right before that, I asked him for permission to be able to play this tournament. I was really waiting for this tournament. So my team dropped me. That was one of the first times where I had like this big realization of like, is this really what I should be doing? I just thought about it, I was like, the amount of time I put in for this, there isn't really anything coming out of it. Like, yes, in the future I might make money out of this, but I'm gonna end up just being the same loser that sits in my room and plays video games, and then I'm gonna go to becoming the same loser with money, but the same loser that plays video games and does nothing else. And in the middle of playing video games, I was kind of breaking out of it, trying to do other things, better things like working out. What I noticed is that video games are very addicting. And when you're trying to work out, but you play video games, I feel like they don't go together very well. Now, yes, you might be able to manage your time and play video games every once in a while. But what's the point? Having fun? I mean, what else can I think of? Having fun? I mean, most of you aren't trying to make this your career, right? So why are you playing video games? Because you have nothing else to do. You don't have anything planned for your life. Here's what I recommend for you guys. You know, break down how many hours you spend per day or per week on video games. Break that down for me. Because if you really look at it, you're spending a lot of time on video games. That's probably why you clicked on this video. And just think for a second. What if all of that time I spent was used for something else? The only argument you could possibly give me about why you should be playing video games is if you're trying to become a professional streamer, YouTuber, or a pro player in a video game. If you're truly telling me that that's your dream in life and that's who you want to become and you don't want to do anything else, I support that. But if you're trying to become a successful man, an all-rounded man, a real man, a top 1% man, I do not recommend for you that path. Yes, making money is part of it, but video games just ruin everything in your life. There's so many people that tried to make a career out of video games and they did not succeed. I'm not saying that to discourage you, but you just gotta understand that you could have two versions of yourself. One that works hard, works out, has a good body, has a good mind, isn't completely messed up in the head because you go crazy if you play a lot of video games. And I'm telling you, like, if you're spending lots of time playing video games, that becomes your life. And a lot of times you start losing the perception of reality. You start losing your purpose. Any other goals you had, they just fade away because you're just so distracted by this video game. You're so addicted and you just keep playing games. You have to wake up. If you're watching this video and you're over the age of 13, please just try spending 1 month of your life without any video games. 1 month. I challenge you to 1 month without any video games. And then go back and tell me what happened to your life in that month. Because I'll tell you this, you have more time, you'll find new passions, new goals, you'll become more mentally just your mindset will start changing because you'll be like, I have all this time, I have so much energy, I want to do something. You start hitting the gym more consistently. You have a better diet because you won't be distracted by video games. You remember that you actually have to drink water. A lot of you guys play video games, you don't drink any water. And then you wonder why your health is just, you just feel like complete like ass, bro. You feel like shit. You literally feel like shit. And then you're foggy and you don't sleep. Have you ever stayed up really late to play video games before? I'll say from my personal experience, when I used to be a complete Jeffrey, I would stay up until sometimes 8 in the morning playing video games. You know how messed up that was? If you're at the age of 13 or older, quit video games. Just trust me, quit video games, and then come back at least 1 month later and tell me what happened. Because I promise you, your life will become better. Now, for those of you who say, oh, I don't really play video games that often, what can I tell you? I can't really just completely, you know, put my mindset into yours, but if you have video games on your phone and every once in a while you play them, like, I still believe you shouldn't be playing video games. If you're telling me that you have time to play video games every day, that just reminds me of the old me that wanted to become somebody but didn't do the work to actually become somebody. And what's the real point of playing the game? Okay, yes, you're on the bus, you're on your way to school, you could be playing games. Do you really need all that dopamine? You really need to entertain yourself all the time, all day? Just have a little break. You're on your bus to school. Just have some peace of mind. Just calm down. Think about your day. Think about your future. Think about what you're gonna do. Listen to a podcast. Listen to something. Like, do something that could be much more beneficial than just playing video games all the time. And yes, you might say, oh, I only play once per week on Sundays with my friends on the weekends. Like, the type of people that really truly believe that they could become successful while playing video games, I believe they have the wrong mindset. I just completely disagree with anyone who thinks that playing video games is gonna be helping them out. Why won't you just put your head down, work hard right now, just work hard, focus on yourself, become successful, buy yourself an absolute crazy setup, and when you already made a lot of money and you're in shape and you're taking care of yourself and everything's going perfectly well for you, then get some children, raise a family, and then play some video games with your kids and have some fun later on in your life. Why do we all want to have all the fun now but not do all the hard work now. That's the difference. There are people that are willing to do the hard work today and leave the fun for later. While other people, they want the fun today and the hard work, they want it later. It doesn't work like that. Okay? Now, I know some of you guys might bring up like these successful people, like some Twitch streamers or like YouTubers who play video games and they're successful when it comes to money. Still, if I had to go back and let's say my parents decide to support me for my sort of video game dream and making money off of video games, I would regret it. I do not regret what happened. I am actually happy that my parents kept me away from that because if I did get rich off of video games, I would never be able to do anything else with my life because my mind would be completely messed up. I wouldn't be working out, have the worst diet, I have the worst attention span. I would just be fully addicted to the game. And because I see that I can make money off the game, I won't even think about anything else. There's so many guys that got rich off of video games and streaming and YouTube, and I'll be honest, they grew up and they're complete pussies. Yes, I said it, complete pussies. Most of you kids who play video games every day, you guys will stay complete pussies. And yes, there might be some people that are like, crazy Sigma compared to me and they still play video games sometimes. I'm just speaking on average. Most of the people that play video games every day and they're not planning on giving it up and they play a lot of video games, they're not gonna be successful all rounded top 1% men. Guys want to be real men, or you guys want to be half men and half like freaking dorks playing video games? Like, come on, guys. Let's be honest. Would you rather get rich off of something that is hard and everyone can respect? Because nobody respects people who play video games. The world doesn't, like, if I walk onto the streets and I pull up in a Lambo, right? Everyone will be like, oh, cool. How'd you do that? What do you do? And I'll be like, I play video games. They're not gonna care, bro. They're not gonna respect you. Or if I come out of that Lambo and I'll be like, I'm running my own business, I'm running this, I'm doing that, I work so hard, I did this, I'm in shape, I take care of myself, I'm doing this, I have a lot of connections, I have friends, I have a group of people that I'm working with, I'm very motivated, I have a really good mindset, I'm sharp, I'm smart, I'm strong, I'm big, everything. Sexy chocolate, bro. They'll respect me way more, bro. They'll respect that sexy chocolate way more than someone who's a little dork that plays video games. They're walking like this, bro, with their little fingers. Quit video games. If this video still didn't convince you to quit video games, then I don't know what to tell you. If you're trying to go pro in video games and you're willing to accept the fact that you're forever gonna be a little loser, go ahead. Stick with that. And then if you do make the money, like, round of applause. If you make a career off of video games, round of applause for you. Good job. But at the same time, bro, you're the same little loser that was in your room playing video games every day, making YouTube Fortnite montages. Like, just please, just please get some help. Just don't play video games. Alright, this will be the end of this video. I highly suggest that you guys do not play video games. My personal experience, ever since I quit video games, my diet has been better. I drink more water. I hit the gym. I work on actual things that could actually benefit me in the future. Learning. I'm bettering myself every single day. And ever since I quit video games, I'm not saying I haven't touched a single video game in the past 10 years and I'm like religiously just like scared of them. No. Once, maybe every few months, I might have guests come over and I'll load up Forza Horizon, and we'll just, drift around and race in the car for like an hour or two. I might do that for fun, but like, outside of that, there hasn't been a single time. I don't even think about video games anymore. Once you break that addiction, you don't even want to play. If I were to hop on Fortnite, it was a game I loved at the time, and I start playing right now, yeah, I kind of would like it. It's fun. I agree. It could be pretty fun, or like maybe you don't like the same game as me, you like a different one. Yeah, it'll be pretty fun. Any game I'll launch right now might be pretty fun, but at the end of the day, after playing for a couple minutes, I'll get bored of it instantly. I'm just not wired that way anymore. And yes, if I play a lot, I might start like wanting to play more and more. Even then, I would just think back of the old life that I used to live, and that's the key here. If you stop playing video games and then you come back to playing them, you think about your past self and how bad it was and how good it was when you stopped playing video games, and you wouldn't want to go back. I highly suggest, as I said this many times, take 30 days off. 30 days to change your life for the better. Highly suggest that. Those of you who like some help, I am offering one-on-one coaching and lots of other things. I have my own workout program. Everything is in my sort of brand I'm selling called The Exodus. Guys might wonder what The Exodus is. The Exodus is the great escape. The great escape from living a life that you don't want to live, to be able to go to a life that you actually truly would love and be happy. So if you guys want, you guys could DM me on Instagram. It'll be linked down below, my Insta, and you guys could hit me up. I'll put you on. I'll be able to help you. I have one-on-one coaching, life coaching. If you want me to transform your life and be there for you and support you and yell at you to stop playing video games, then let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.